But overall, I'm pretty impressed with the package. I don't remember how much it is, but you get the shock mount in the box and everything. Like, I'm actually impressed by a USB microphone for the first time in years. This glowing, interesting looking microphone is the HyperX Quadcast from HyperX, which is Kingston's gaming brand that has gone from just memory and SSD products to everything. This is actually on loan from a subscriber at French Ops on Twitter, or Alexis. Thank you very much. I've had this. My cat is now scratching her scratcher, of course, as soon as I start recording. I've been waiting for a while. You done back there? This mic has been out for a while, but I did not get a review sample, and so it is on loan from them, and I've had it for over a month now, and I'm only just getting to reviewing it, how things go over here, so thank you for that and your patience. I will be shipping this back soon, and since there is no loaner unit, of course, no one is sponsoring or paying for this review other than our actual sponsor today.
TubeBuddy is the best tool you can get to manage your YouTube channel. You can update videos in bulk, optimize your SEO, syndicate to social media, back up your metadata, and more, all with a simple browser extension. Head to EposVox.com/TubeBuddy to learn more and download it for free.
So I just got done streaming for a few hours with this microphone over on Twitch at twitch.tv/EposVox, and I have to say, I am pretty impressed with this microphone. It is a USB condenser microphone in the line of a Blue Yeti and AT2020 USB, those kinds of things, but it is built a little bit differently. I really like the build of it. It is super light. It honestly feels like a toy, but that's not actually a bad thing, because that means that it's going to sit on your microphone arm and be able to be moved and adjusted without weighing it down. So if you're buying a cheaper microphone arm, you don't have to worry about it bringing your mic down. The Blue Yetis are super heavy. The AT2020 is pretty heavy. All of my dynamic mics that I use, like my RE320 over here, is super heavy. This thing weighs like nothing in comparison. So in terms of actual usability, it's a good thing. Physically, it's set up pretty interesting. You have this kind of matte black body to it with this red LED indicator for when it's on and not muted, because if I hit mute, it goes dark. Now, I had a couple questions on stream about how I felt about the LEDs. How annoying is the glow? I mean, honestly, looking at it now, like you can see the hot spot of the LED like right there on camera, but looking at it in person, like you'd almost think the foam was just colored red. Like it doesn't really emit light. It's just like lit up. So, or, you know, it's just got like a saturation of red. So it's honestly pretty good. The big thing that I love is that you're getting a complete package with this microphone. It's $140, which is a little more expensive than I'd recommend for a pure USB microphone. This is USB only. It doesn't have an XLR upgrade path like something like the Blue Yeti Pro or the Samson Q2U, which is my go-to recommended microphone. It's only like 89 bucks. So you are limited to sticking with this with USB, period. So that's a little more expensive than I'd recommend for it. But in terms of actually the package you're getting, you get the microphone, you get the integrated shock mount, which is really nice and handy to see, and then it comes with its own little hefty stand to put on your desk if so desired, or it comes with the adapter to adapt it to a formal microphone arm, and a nice little super long braided USB cable, which lets me run the USB all the way to my computer, which is like 4 feet away from me. Pretty solid. Now I will say a lot of their marketing materials of course shows it being used with the integrated stand. If you put that down on your desk back towards your keyboard, you're going to get the boominess of smashing your keyboard. You're also going to have it much further away from you. It's going to sound really bad. Always put these microphones up on an arm up next to you if you're using it for content creation, or it's pretty much not going to sound good. Now again, with the physical aspect, it does have a mute button on the bottom and it is capacitive, so you just barely have to get your I don't know if I can get the angle to really show that without B-roll, but frequently due to the capacitive nature, as long as you get your skin close to it for it to like detect the warmth or whatever, you can mute it, and there's no big, like it's still on the microphone, so you're still rustling the microphone. And in terms of usability, I would definitely recommend a hotkey or a Stream Deck button or a mixer button to actually mute your microphone instead of using this. But if you're going to use the on microphone mute button, it's much better than the ka-chunk, ka-chunk, ka-chunk that the Blue Yeti has and other microphones tend to have. Now, on the other side of the microphone, you do have headphone output because it can act as a USB sound card as well to loop back to your headphones and play your system sound and things like that, which is really handy. It would be the only solution you needed if you were just using this basic single microphone setup. It does have a gain level indicator, so if I start turning it down, you're not really going to notice my actual levels being the same, as they seem to stay the same. There's like some sort of compressor or limiter integrated here so that my level output stays mostly the same, But then if I turn it around to the other side, instead of really clipping in Windows so much, it just sounds like I'm clipping within the microphone. It's really weird. I don't understand it, and it's not super accurate either, because you have these 5 dots in the middle of the setup here that you would think would indicate like level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and if you're trying to tell people or help people with gain setting, you want to have indicators so you can tell them where to turn the microphone to. This has like almost, I'd say, a 90-degree angle of rotation here, which goes far past the indicator dots on either side. So functionally, like in terms of usefulness, it's super not useful, and I'm really not a fan. It does, of course, also have a few different polar patterns. So this is the cardioid mode, the mode that virtually every streamer is going to use it in. This is the default mode that you should leave it in 90% of the time. It does have a stereo mode, which instead of just picking up like this polar pattern, it's going to pick up everything except for directly behind it. And then it has a bidirectional mode, which is going to pick up directly in front of it and directly behind it and reject the sides so that you could use it for like interviews or something like that. And then it has an omnidirectional mode, which it picks up everything. That's useful for like instruments and music and stuff, but for most game streamers, you want it on cardioid like it is now, and that's what you're hearing. And so far, this has been completely unprocessed raw audio. I am going to do a sample here with some post-processing applied in Adobe Audition, but I wanted you to have this first, and I'm also going to include a couple clips here of my live stream where I had a basic compressor and noise gate running on OBS, just so you get a sample of that as well. Oh yeah, I have kill streaks available. The hell am I doing? Enemy UAV overhead. That was a roof. That's fine. It's my first time using it. I am a sneaky ninja. Sneak, 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 sneak. I'm playing Metal Gear. Just because I didn't want to play on Xbox much. Ooh, that grenade kill. MP5 Scout FMJ. That sounds fun. This is amazing. Yes. So I'm going to pull up a basic white noise test here so you can hear the angle of how it sounds with the cardioid polar pattern. Starting at the front. And then let's go ahead and do my usual Lord of the Rings read, and I'll do it raw and then with some EQ compression, and that's pretty much it in Adobe Audition real quick here. So 3 rings for the Elven Kings under the sky, 7 for the Dwarf Lords in their halls of stone, 9 for the mortal men doomed to die, 1 for the Dark Lord on his dark throne, in the land of Mordor where the shadows lie. 1 ring to rule them all, 1 ring to find them, 1 ring to bring them all, and in the darkness bind them, in the land of Mordor where the shadows lie. And of course, it was requested that I do a comparison here to the Blue Yeti, which is kind of the obvious like competitor to this microphone, although I believe the Blue Yeti goes for fairly cheap compared to this microphone these days. But it doesn't have the mute button is really obnoxious. Just got that ka-chunk sound. And I don't know. Neither of them have an XLR upgrade option, so it's an obvious competitor for a cheaper price. 3 rings for the Elven Kings under the sky, 7 for the Dwarf Lords in their halls of stone, 9 for the mortal men doomed to die, 1 for the Dark Lord on his dark throne, in the land of Mordor where the shadows lie. 1 ring to rule them all, 1 ring to find them, 1 ring to bring them all, and in the darkness bind them, in the land of Mordor where the shadows lie. I am EposVox. I am EposVox. Now, if you already have an audio interface or a mixer or a Go XLR Mini or are planning on getting one, you want an XLR mic, not a USB mic. So for about $10 more than the HyperX Quadcast, you can get this beautiful little microphone right here. This is the Golden Age Project D2. I've been wanting to review it for a while now, and my buddy Technical, or Alex, I'll have his channel linked in the description down below, let me borrow this as well. Yes, both of their names were Alex based. That's funny. So we're going to do our read here.
3 rings for the Elven Kings under the sky, 7 for the Dwarf Lords in their halls of stone, 9 for the mortal men doomed to die, 1 for the Dark Lord on his dark throne, in the land of Mordor where the shadows lie. 1 ring to rule them all, 1 ring to find them, 1 ring to bring them all and in the darkness bind them, in the land of Mordor where the shadows lie. This is a large diaphragm dynamic microphone instead of a condenser microphone, but it does a lot better job of rejecting your background noise and clicks. I'm smashing my clicks and typing. It's supposed to do a lot better job, especially the ambient PC fan noise, especially once you apply post-processing to bring up that noise floor. That noise floor is supposed to be lower, yada yada. I've talked about this in every video. Go check out my mic reviews playlist if you need to learn more.
And just so we have it going, this is a sample with the air conditioner going with no noise gate applied. This is my usual air conditioner that I have running in most of my microphone tests, so you can hear more or less, what that would sound like. In terms of value proposition, I talked about the price. Again, this is $140. It comes at a premium. You're getting a really good microphone, especially for a USB microphone, for a premium. But especially for game streaming scenarios where you're going to be talking while typing, doing some mouse clicks. I had to get a noise gate in there of about, I think it started closing at about like minus 45 to 48 dB for my specific setup. I had to set up a little bit of noise gate to start ignoring mouse clicks. But overall, for game streaming setup, I still might recommend instead going with the cheaper, the Samson Q2U. Link to my review will be in the description. It's the microphone I prefer for this kind of sub $200 price point. It comes with both USB and XLR, so you can use it as a USB sound card, get started with it, but then have an XLR upgrade path if you want to get something like the Go XLR Mini and get multi-track streaming going and all of that magic. You have no upgrade path with this, and that is still a big limiting factor for me. But overall, in a vacuum, it is a great microphone for the money. Now, overall, my voice is pretty worn out. I did stream for a few hours, but you should be able to hear the quality of the microphone here. I am actually very impressed, and especially given it has a really nice preamp, it would seem, in the microphone. Like, I didn't hear a whole lot of electrical feedback or anything like that, and the gain levels, as you saw, can get to, like, clipping and distortion level without any issue. Like, the preamps in this are actually really good. And so you're able to, you don't even really need a pop filter because you don't need to be right up on it. And while I still recommend having it in your face, kind of like this, instead of having it on the desk, as I mentioned, you are able to get enough distance from it that you don't really need an obnoxious pop filter blocking your face or blocking the microphone because you don't have to be spewing your plosives into it. So I'll say it now, this is honestly the most impressed I've ever been with a dedicated USB microphone, which is not something I can say very often as I generally recommend against them. So affiliate product links on Amazon or wherever this is available, Newegg, will be in the description down below as always. Super thanks to @FrenchOps for letting me borrow this. Always great when I can supplement, like having to buy stuff or whatever to be able to review it. So much appreciated as always. Hope you enjoyed this quick little mic review. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe for more tech education and episodes of Gearhead, my gear review series. And check us out on Floatplane where you can get early access to videos, behind the scenes content, things like that. I'm EposVox. I'll see you next time.